Hi friends, this is Angelica. Thanks for joining me here on the Greetery YouTube channel. Today I'm really excited to be introducing two new dies that are in the Greetery's All Wrapped Up collection, which will be in the Greetery shop tomorrow, November 22nd. So we are going to be working with these new products. This is the new BotaniCuts Mistletoe die and the Loopy Bow Builder die. I am in love with this Loopy Bow die and I can't wait for you to see it. But first, let's start with the BotaniCut Mistletoe. This die has three different components to it. Do you have the mistletoe, and then there's a few extra leaf dies so you can bring in more color to the mistletoe, and some berry dies. I've already die cut colored cardstock, and I'm just using my paper piercer right now to poke out all the little pieces that are in the middle of the mistletoe. And the mistletoe also comes with a guide, so it can give you ideas of how to use those leaves, though the leaves can be put anywhere on the mistletoe. That was just one example. I did glue my first leaf down and then realized maybe I should map out the rest of the leaves before I just start gluing. So that's what I did. I liked how it looked, so now I'm using my art glitter glue to attach the leaves. And the leaves are die cut. It's sea glass cardstock from the stamp market, and then the mistletoe itself is lagoon, and the berries are cherry. You can see how quick it was to put this mistletoe together. I think I spent more time just picking out the colors of what I wanted to use than actually die cutting and gluing everything together. Now it's time for the Loopy Bow Builder die, and I'm really excited about this die. You're going to be able to use it for so many occasions. I've already die cut white cardstock twice with the unsnipped die set, and we're going to use all the loops to build one bow. Now you don't have to make your bow this big, or you can make it even bigger. The options are endless. Each loop has a tab that you can glue on top of the other loops to keep the bow even. And then there are two ribbon tails to attach to the back side of the bow. So you can position the tails in different ways. The choice is yours. The options are so endless. And depending on how the loops and the tails are positioned, you can give the bows different characteristics. You're going to see me play with the tails in different positions just to see how each position looks. And once I found one that I really liked, I glued the tails together and then glued the bow onto the tails. And again, you don't have to use all of the loops. I made a few more bows off screen to show how different loops look together. I did make a red and pink bow using all the loops again, and then I made bows using only two loops. I also made a small white bow and I cut the tails shorter. So there's lots of options. The sky's the limit. Now it's time to put a couple cards together. I'm starting first with splattering white paint onto the mistletoes. I did make a second one off screen with the opposite colors from the first mistletoe. And while the paint was drying, I stamped backgrounds with the pine and berry background stamp. I stamped dark gray cardstock with black ink on screen, and then I used Tailored Expressions sea salt ink, which is a really soft gray. I stamped that onto white cardstock off screen. So once the backgrounds were stamped, I die cut them with the large postal frame and attached them to a card base, and then I stamped a small Christmas sweet sentiment and die cut it with the coordinating tag die. I attached the tag to the bow and then glued the bow onto the mistletoe and glued the mistletoe onto the card. This is a very simple layout, and I love simple. I did use the two red bows that I showed earlier with the two loops for each bow, and I love the different looks that these bows give. The larger loop looks fantastic on top of the light gray and white background. And adding a simple greeting really keeps the cards clean. So that's the introduction to the new BotaniCuts Mistletoe die and the Loopy Bow die. I want to thank the Greetery so much for letting me introduce these gorgeous dies to you. Now there's more to see over on the Greetery blog, so be sure to stop by. There is so much in this new collection. You're going to want it all. That's all that I have for today. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Take care, friends.